Hey guys, it's Bulls. I'm back for week 1 of IPDL season 26. Looking forward to this season of the draft league. I'm really liking this team. I really enjoyed building with it in the team builder. I don't know if it's a team in general or maybe just this matchup, but I really enjoyed it a lot. So I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it this season. We are facing off against Starlot week 1. His team is pretty scary offensively. He's got a Sun team, obviously, with Raging Bolt, Walking Away, Torkoal, Slitherwing, Venusaur, Hisuian, Typhlosion, all really take advantage of that Sun from Torkoal. It is very similar to what I faced off against week 1 of last season. Australian Ryan had a Sun team with 5 of the same Pokemon. Walking Away, Torkoal, Venusaur is pretty obvious on a Sun team, but they also had Skarmory and Hatterene. I guess Hatterene makes sense because it's pretty good on hyper offensive teams, so that makes sense for a Sun team. But Skarmory is interesting too. So 5 of the same Pokemon, starting this season off pretty similarly in terms of the opponent team, though my team is quite different. So my team building process is going to be a little bit different in how I handle that. I think my team has just got some really good natural matchups against his. Just Landorus hits really hard, and he didn't really have a great way to switch into Lando. I've got Lycanroc Dusk and Hisuian Arcanine have really good matchups. Defensively, Glanis Slowking and Rotom Wash look really good. So I'll get into the exact team I'm bringing here in just a minute. Looking at his team in general, the type chart isn't something I want to focus on too much, but it can be helpful to point out some weaknesses. One thing here is rock. Only resistance to it is Clodsire. So Lycanroc and Hisuian Arcanine both look really nice against that. And the fact that Clodsire's physical defense isn't all that high, both Arcanine and Lycanroc, at least Lycanroc carries super effective coverage, and Arcanine's neutral coverage with something like Flare Blitz hits hard enough to get a 2-hit KO on it. So it can't really check either of those rock types. So that may be some difficulty unless maybe he has Terra type on Raging Bolt or something that may be able to take that hit. Another weakness I noticed is a Ghost weakness. No normal type to be immune, and the only dark type is Weevil, which is very frail. That's also another unique thing in common with Australian Ryan's team last season. Ryan had no normal type, and the only dark type is a frail dark type with Greninja for their team. I was able to make use of that last season and take advantage of it with Hisuian's Zoroark. Got 4 KOs against Ryan, so that was really nice. And I was looking to do that with this team. Unfortunately, Sinistcha doesn't quite cut it against that matchup. I think I had a little difficulty with the speed tier being a base 70. It's not terrible, but it struggles a little bit against some of the faster stuff that threaten it more immediately. And with if I run a more offensive set like a Choice Specs or something like that, if I ran a more defensive set, it would beat those offensive Pokemon pretty well, but it has a lot harder time against Skarmory, Hatterene, and Clod. Well, not Hatterene, but Skarmory and Clodsire. So it is much more difficult there. So Sinistcha didn't make the cut as much as I'd like to. I think this flying weakness is a fake weakness since it's only a couple of the low tier picks and no weaknesses up early on, and even a couple of resistances. So nothing super obvious aside from that Ghost and Rock weakness. Speed tiers and everything look pretty smooth throughout. I think one advantage that I can make use of against Starlot is just that natural matchup. And I think Starlot's team, being a Sun team, is going to be a little bit one-dimensional. There's a few Pokemon that has some viable other options. You know, Landorus is pretty versatile in offensive, defensive sets. Raging Bolt is definitely the biggest versatile threat on his team, so it could do a few different things. But I think a lot of the other stuff like Walking Wake and Typhlosion, Slitherwing, Venusaur, they're pretty one-dimensional. I'm not super worried about being caught off guard by them. Maybe I should be, and maybe I will be. You'll see later in this video if I do. So yeah, I think the Sun team is pretty scary, and I just have to be prepared for those offensive threats. I think I can make use of my good natural matchups here. So let's get on to the team. First thing I added here was Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant is going to be coming most of the games, if not all the games this season. It's just so strong, and being a Terra captain, it can utilize a lot of different options. I went with a Terra Ghost for this week with Shadow Ball and a booster energy. Shadow Ball and Moonblast do really good work against the team here. Not much can take it. Really, Clodsire is the only thing that can take both of those moves, and so I've got Psyshock as the third attack there. Shadow Ball gives me nice coverage against Hatterene and hits it super effectively, and then against Torkoal and Skarmory hits both of those neutrally, but they've got pretty weak special defenses, so I'm able to 2-hit KO with that Shadow Ball if I Terra Ghost. So despite it only being neutral, it gets that 2-hit KO pretty nice, and Moonblast and Shadow Ball hit the rest of the team very, very well. For that last slot, I went with Destiny Bond, primarily for Raging Bolt. Encore was a consideration. It's pretty nice against some of the defensive stuff too that may try to be a little more passive and maybe go for a status or something like that. But I think being able to handle the Raging Bolt is a little more important. And Iron Valiant has really good matchups against the defensive Pokemon anyway. So Destiny Bond lets me play some mind games with Raging Bolt, trying to revenge kill with Thunderclap. So that's very helpful. I did consider a Terra Electric or Terra Ground to handle Raging Bolt's Thunderclap better, but I would lose out on beating Hatterene if I did that, and I didn't think that was worth it. I'd probably have to run Thunderbolt instead of Shadow Ball to be stronger, and that would still be Torkoal and actually is better against Skarmory, but not being able to hit the Hatterene for much kind of makes Iron Valiant have a difficult time cleaning up. So that Destiny Bond still helps me out with being able to clean up and still have a good ability to keep Raging Bolt in check, or a good move to keep Raging Bolt in check. I went with max speed EVs. Didn't speed creep anything, just went with max. It does prevent Weevil from being greedy and going for an adamant nature. So just in case, I went for max speed there. Next one up, I went with Landorus. I wanted to get a wall breaker in here that's going to pair well with Iron Valiant. Valiant's going to do most of the cleanup, most likely, with that booster energy. So Lando does a great job of wall breaking and punching holes in the defense for Iron Valiant to clean up. Nasty Plot, Earth Power, pretty standard stuff for Landorus. Psychic is the best neutral coverage on a lot of the things that can take an Earth Power. Really, the main thing is Landorus T. Psychic gets a 2-hit KO, or if I get a Nasty Plot first, it's a 1-hit KO. It's also, surprisingly, after a Nasty Plot, it gets a 2-hit KO on Skarmory with Psychic, even with the resist. Skarmory's special defense is just that weak. So he can't really use Skarmory as a check to Landorus if I get that Nasty Plot first. The fourth move on here, I went with Weather Ball because Weather Ball is just cool. I really like running Weather Ball tech against weather teams in general, so that could be helpful. The main things really the only things that's going to be helpful for are Skarmory and Lando T. It gets a 1-hit KO on Skarmory without any boosts, assuming that Sturdy's been broken. It does slightly better damage on Landorus T. So a little bit better there. Cool tech. I consider Substitute, but I don't think it really helps a ton. And I don't really need Lando to substitute to be able to beat the offensive stuff better. It does bait in like Weevil and Walking Wake and even Cinderace a little bit to revenge kill, but I'm okay with that. I think my matchups against those faster Pokemon are pretty good in this match. So Lando just being able to wall break all but 3 Pokemon, like it's faster than all but 3 at the base 101 speed. So it's pretty nice, and it can do that job very well with this set. Next up, I've got Galarian Slowking. I knew I was going to need Galarian Slowking when I saw the Raging Bolt and Walking Wake. It is definitely my best specialty defensive option against those two. Just neutral damage against both. It's crazy how bulky this thing is. It's able to take hits from Raging Bolt and Walking Wake, even though they're just neutral. I went with an Assault Vest set this time. I wanted to be able to still hit decently hard offensively because Raging Bolt has a potential to Calm Mind, and Walking Wake hits really hard too. For both of them, honestly, I don't have a super effective stab for them. So I want to be able to hit as hard as possible, and an assault vest with a modest nature and a lot of special attack investment allows me to do that. Psyshock and Sludge Bomb for the obvious stab moves. Psyshock's nice against Clodsire because its special defense is so high. Psyshock's real nice. And it also helps if he does go for a Calm Mind Raging Bolt. It allows me to still do pretty reliable damage, even with the boosts. And I went with Sludge Bomb for the other one. I think the chance to get a poison is a little bit better than the 5 base power increase for Sludge Wave. And then Flamethrower and Ice Beam to round out the coverage. Ice Beam could hit Lando on a switch in if I predict it. It could hit Raging Bolt. It does hit Raging Bolt harder than the stab moves do, so that could be helpful if he doesn't Terra, or if he goes for like a Terra Ground or Grass or something like that. Flamethrower, of course, hits Skarmory. That's the main one that it hits, but a Sun boosted Flamethrower from Galarian Slowking could be pretty nice to get extra damage on something else as well, or even a Terra Steel Raging Bolt. The special defense EVs on Galarian Slowking allow it to survive 2 Hydro Steams from a Specs Walking Wake in the sun, which is pretty crazy. And it's a neutral hit, not even resisted, to be able to take 2 Specs Hydro Steams from Walking Wake in the sun. It also allows it to survive 2 Draco Meteors from a Specs Raging Bolt. I don't think that was a sun boosted Raging Bolt or a proto synthesis, like activated from the sun plus choice specs. If he does lock choice specs, Draco Meteor, I should know from the calc, and I can switch out to Iron Valiant, be immune to that if I have to, if it comes to that. That's going to be a crazy set. It's for a lot of damage if he does that. The defensive EVs on it, the defense EVs are to take a hit from a timid Life Orb Venusaur's Earthquake. So I didn't want to invest a ton into it, but I could invest just a little bit, just 36 EVs to make sure I survive a timid Life Orb Venusaur's Earthquake, or a naive or hasty or jolly Venusaur's Earthquake without Life Orb. So I didn't want to drop a ton of the special attack, and then I just put the rest in the special attack to maximize the damage. So Galarian's looking really nice against those 2 special attackers. It's still pretty nice. If Venusaur doesn't have Earthquake, it's very nice there. If it does have Earthquake, I still have enough to survive 2 hits from Earthquake, or if he uses Growth, I can survive 1 hit from Earthquake. And it surprisingly doesn't take a ton from Typhlosion and Shadow Ball, even though it's super effective. So it's still decent there against that special attacker. Rotom Wash coming in the 4th slot as the physically bulky Pokemon on this team. It has fantastic natural matchups against these 3 physical attackers here: Lando, T, Cinderace, and Weevil. Just incredible that it lined up that Rotom matches up against those 3 all at once. Pretty standard stuff here for the Rotom HP defense on the EVs with the bold nature. I went with a Rocky Helmet. That could definitely be nice to punish some of the utility stuff from these guys. U-turns from Lando or Cinderace or Slitherwing, or knockoff, like a weak knockoff or something. Even a knockoff from Weevil, at least I get some chip damage on it as it knocks the helmet off. I went with Thunderwave as the utility option to get status from Rotom for 2 reasons. One, it can't be bounced back. Well, technically it gets bounced by Hatterene, but Rotom will be immune, so I'm not punished really. I just lose a little momentum. And it punishes some of the other switch-ins to Rotom, like Venusaur and Walking Wake, that Rotom doesn't really threaten otherwise. Also potentially Raging Bolt if he's already been Terra'd and then switches in. Early on, I'm probably just gonna be spamming Volt Switch though. Rotom is pretty easy bait for Raging Bolt to come in for free, so I'm probably just gonna spam Volt Switch to pivot out to something to give myself a better matchup, because it's pretty dead weight against Raging Bolt. At this point, I was pretty happy with the state of my team. I wanted to get a little bit more in revenge killing options and not be totally reliant on Iron Valiant. So I was looking at what I would have available to do that. I also wanted to just find a couple good matchups, offensively and defensively. These last two, Arcanine and Baxcalibur, look pretty nice to help out my team. As I mentioned before, Arcanine and Lycanroc both have really nice offensive matchups with the only one resistance to rock being Clodsire, and they can both beat Clodsire. In fact, Terra Rock from this Hisuian Arcanine, which is just an adamant choice scarf set, Terra Rock can 2-hit KO Clodsire with Head Smash. It doesn't even need a choice band or anything to do it. So if it comes that, maybe that works out better than Terra with Iron Valiant. It's not likely, but maybe. Head Smash and Flare Blitz go very hard against this team. Head Smash is super spammable. Get 2-hit KOs or 1-hit KOs, everything except for Clodsire. Flare Blitz gives me another option if I do need to hit Clodsire hard. That'll hit it very hard. There's a few things that can take Flare Blitz, like Raging Bolt and Walking Wake and Torkoal. Don't take a ton of damage from that, so they're pretty safe there. But if take those out first, and then I can spam Flare Blitz, a little more reliable than Head Smash. I went with Extreme Speed here. I figured that could be nice for revenge killing. Maybe a Raging Bolt if he's going to try to Thunderclap to revenge kill me. I can potentially Extreme Speed. And maybe to revenge kill a low health Walking Wake that's Sun boosted or something like that. Or something else maybe that has a Scarf. And then Crunch in that last slot. I went with that only for Hisuian Typhlosion. Arcanine is my best way to handle Hisuian Typhlosion, and actually, let me swap these. I decided earlier I needed to do this and hadn't done it in my set yet. I'm going with a little more special defense rather than HP on Arcanine to better take a hit from Typhlosion. My team takes real big hits from it, especially in the sun. If it's not in the sun, then Galarian Slowking and Rotom and Baxcalibur don't take a ton from it, but if it's in the sun, that boosted Eruption does a ton of damage. So Hisuian Arcanine double resist Eruption, so it's my best bet to be able to switch in. And that's the main reason I opted for Arcanine over Lycanroc, because it has a much better matchup defensively. It's able to handle that Typhlosion much better. Of course, in a 1v1, Lycanroc can Accelerock on Typhlosion and probably 1-hit KO it. But Arcanine's able to actually switch into the attack. Arcanine just generally has better defensive stats anyway. Like 95, 80, 80 is pretty nice defensive-wise for an offensive Pokemon. And Lycanroc can't switch into anything. I really wanted to run Lycanroc here because it looked really good offensively. Accelerock is super helpful because the only two things on the team that outspeed it, Weevil and Cinderace, are weak to Accelerock. But I felt like I needed that defensive ability from Arcanine a little bit more, considering, my offensive stuff already has a really good matchup. And then on the last slot with Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur gives me some roll compression. I originally had a Swords Dance set with a Lucky Dice, or Loaded Dice, with Scale Shot and Icicle Spear. But I changed my mind and wanted to go Assault Vest instead. Assault Vest on this really helps against Venusaur because I don't have a great way to handle Venusaur if it's got a speed boost from the sun. If he's greedy and goes Modest, Iron Valiant with Booster Energy does outspeed Venusaur. But I'm assuming he's going to stay timid if he brings Venusaur. Galarian Slowking can handle it if he doesn't have a ground move. But again, he may carry that ground move, so we'll have to see. But Baxcalibur with that Assault Vest is able to take both stab moves, avoids the 2-hit KO on both, and is able to 1-hit KO with Icicle Crash, and Glaverush might even 1-hit KO. Ice Shard, of course, very nice for revenge killing some stuff. And then Earthquake here, primarily for Torkoal. I think that's the only thing. I guess Cinderace as well. It hits super effectively. Yeah, and even, Clodsire. If I want a little more accuracy than Icicle Crash, that'd be nice on Clodsire. This also is very helpful against Raging Bolt. Now, it is weak to Dragon, and I can't take a Draco Meteor with it. But it's able to take a Thunderclap, so it can't be easily revenge killed by Raging Bolt, which is really helpful. It takes the pressure off of Landorus offensively to be able to beat the Raging Bolt, so Lando isn't the only one that can do that, and Excalibur with that resistance and the Assault Vest can take that pretty easily. Because Excalibur does survive a modest photosynthesis boosted Dragon Pulse, so it doesn't get one hit KO to that. Of course, if there's I'm not running boots, so if there's hazards or something, it could die after hazard damage first, but it's surprisingly bulky here. I went with max speed on this set. Adamant max speed. It would be a speed tie with a timid maximum speed Raging Bolt, so I kept it maximum instead of speed creeping for something else, just in case that comes into play. I'd get minimum bulk investment from it anyway, so I figured that'd be worth it. And that is the team. I'm really happy with this team. A couple other considerations I had. I mentioned Sinistra. It looked nice with the ghost type spam, but it was kind of a tough speed tier, matched up kind of poorly. The offensive set matched up poorly against the faster threats, and the defensive sets can't really overpower the bulk, the slower, bulkier stuff on Starlot's team. So it was a little more difficult to find a spot for it. Something faster and more offensive, like maybe even a Golden Go is not that fast, but it may have a better matchup. Obviously, fast stuff like Zoroark or Gengar probably would have a much better matchup and be able to spam their Shadow Balls pretty freely. I also considered Cloyster. I really like the Shell Smash set against his team. It really threatens to sweep really well. He even gets a 2-hit KO on Skarmory, even though it's only a neutral. In general, Ice looks real strong against a team as long as you've got like a coverage to hit these. But Cinderace and Typhlosion are pretty frail, and Torkoal's bulky, but you know, Cloyster gets Rock Blast, so it would hit it super hard. The reason I didn't go for it is because it's easily revenge killed by a Raging Bolt. Offensively, it looks super good, but then Raging Bolt just comes in and hits Thunderclap, so I didn't think that was really going to be worth it. And the Assault Vest Excalibur provides some nice roll compression for me. Overall, I'm really happy with this team. I didn't really struggle in team building like I have in previous seasons. It felt like I had a lot of freedom to build the team, and I didn't feel constrained and forced into running some things that were less than ideal to check stuff. Going into the battle here, I'm probably going to lead. It's either going to be Lando, Rotom Wash, or Excalibur. Depends on what he brings, most likely. Excalibur is primarily going to be important for my team if he doesn't, or if he brings Venusaur, or he has a Terra Ground Raging Bolt. Both of those scenarios, Excalibur is going to be pretty important to keep around. If he doesn't, it might be a good lead to get some early offensive damage. And even if, well, you know, especially if he doesn't have Skarmory, because that's going to be able to hit really hard. Skarmory is the only thing that can really take those hits well. So be a nice lead. Otherwise, Lando or Rotom might be the best bet for me. It kind of depends on what he brings and what I think is a most likely lead for him. He may try to lead with his own Lando or Cinderace and pivot with U-turn at the beginning, in which case Rotom would be really good for me to lead with and punish those U-turns. I think this team's going to be very versatile. I've got some options, you know, for wall breaking. Both Lando, Excalibur, and Arcanine can break holes in the defenses really well. And then Iron Valiant and Arcanine are both very good at revenge killing and cleaning up. So I think there's a lot of options for me going into this one. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a few days from now for me, but for you, it'll just be a few seconds. I will see you in my battle with Starlot. And we're back. Get ready to start this battle. I'm going to go ahead and send the invite. I also wanted to mention, don't worry guys, in case you were wondering, I did nickname my Pokemon between that last clip and now. So no worries on that. Day is saved. I know some people would be worried about that. Here we go. All right, so We got rejected because it was a shiny Raging Bolt. Okay, so no Venusaur, no Skarmory. Yeah, Raging Bolt looks really good. What's the Terra type on it? Ghost. Okay. We both brought a Terra Ghost Captain. Cool. I think I'm going to lead with the Baxcalibur. I mean, it helps a little bit against Typhlosion, but if I've got good ways to handle Typhlosion, I think. But Baxcalibur's kind of free to just spam attacks, to be honest. Pretty freely. Yeah. If he goes Torkoal, Earthquake, yeah, I think we lead with Baxcalibur. Yeah, so I was thinking about the length of the video. Considering I have a 20-minute team building section of it, and then I also have the whole battle, but I imagine a lot of the battle is going to be cut out from just waiting. I'm going to obviously do my thinking out loud and everything, but when I'm just waiting on the opponent, that's just a bunch of empty time I can cut out. Yeah, what he leads with Weevil, okay. I can Glaive Rush here. He doesn't have anyone to take a Glaive Rush, actually. That's pretty nuts. No Skarmory or Hatterene. Even Lando takes a hard hit from that. Yeah. He could have Low Kick. Not a one-hit KO. If he's like a standard attacker of choice band, it could be one-hit KO. Okay, but if he locks into Low Kick, like, I just go Lando and get a free nasty plot to wall break very easily. On the speed tiers here, Lando's in great shape. Weevil and Walkie-Wick are the only things faster. Yeah, we just click Glaive Rush. Okay. Fine. Oh, he sashed. Okay. Just Ice Shard. His Ice Shard doesn't kill me. It does a lot of damage, but it doesn't kill me. Yeah, I just want to use this to nuke it. If I kill the Weevil, then Rotom is going to be in a much better spot to just do solid, easy switching against Lando. Doesn't have to worry about checking the Weevil. Okay. We go for the Earthquake. Excalibur, very, very nice that it can't be burned. And if he hits a Lava Plume, it boosts my attack. He could set up rocks, which would be kind of rough. I guess assuming Arcanine is the only one weak to rocks, I'm probably only going to bring that in one time in this battle, though. Body Press. Ah, damn. Okay, I didn't think about Body Press. That's fine. I mean, I did the job with Excalibur. I didn't necessarily need it for anything in particular, but got the Weevil down to 1 and got Torkoal below half. I think my best bet is Lando to come in and just do some nukes of damage. Probably, yeah. Rocky Helmet's real nice. If he brings Weevil back in, it'll die from that. It's easy switch into that. Yeah, I think I'll go Lando. He doesn't have anyone to take the hit from Lando. Obviously, Walking Wake and Weevil can revenge kill it. But I've got reliable answers to those two. Alright, we just go Lando. I think we just click Earth Power. I don't want to risk allowing him to get anything set up. He could go to his Lando, but my Psychic is better than anything he could potentially do to me. So we just go Earth Power. So I do need to keep my Lando healthy to be able to take a Thunderclap from Raging Bolt if I need it to. Obviously it comes in for free here, but it can be revenge killed by Weevil and Walking Wake. So Weevil, I've got Rotom, Rocky Helmet to switch in, and easily comes in, gets the kill with the Rocky Helmet on Weevil. If he goes Walking Wake, I've got Slowking to be able to take that hit. Probably best to go Sludge Bomb to try to get poison on Raging Bolt if he does, because, well, I don't know. We'll see. He doesn't have a great switch into Slow King, to be honest. Lando, he can take a hit decently. But Lando's also kind of either he sacks something here or Lando comes in to take, be immune to this. Guess we'll see what he does. He did, okay. Fine. Lando doesn't get tricked, does it? I don't think it does. I just want to make sure I don't get screwed over by that. Nah, it doesn't. I didn't think so. I don't think he's got anything that really threatens me here. Like, his only thing he can do is double switch, which I guess he could do and go to Weevil, expecting me to psych. Actually, Weather Ball would be pretty nasty for me here. That denies him going to Weevil. Now I could nasty plot, but I don't think it's worth it because he easily revenge kills with both Weevil and Walking Wake. So I mean, if I get a kill, I kill everything. I don't need nasty plot to get the kills on these that I'm faster than, and then these two easily revenge kills. So I don't necessarily need it. I think I go for Weather Ball to deny the switch to Weevil. It doesn't really matter in terms of giving up a strat, because Lando's the only thing the Weather Ball hits harder on, so... Oh, okay. Oh, I got the crit. Alright, cool. Now, Rotom is kind of super easily free. Easily comes into Weevil. And then if I have to sack it to something, I can. I'm totally okay with that. Okay. Yeah, the speed increase, alright. So yeah, we go, this is one of my sets. Let's just go for like a Sun Wall Breaker. X, yeah. We go to this and try to see if he's going to be Assault Vest or something else. So he was Scarfed. He was Scarfed. Lando used rocks there. That would have been... Damn. I mean, yeah. He's Scarfed. So... That's... I could use that to take advantage of something there, maybe. Because if he set up those rocks. Makes sense he'd prioritize it here, set up the rocks, because I don't have a remover. Hydro Steam Sun's gone, so it's not the Weather Rock on Torkoal. Is it? Did I miscount? When you bring Torkoal in? Cornhole. And 2. 1, 2. Yeah, there's only 5 turns, so yeah, it's not a rock. It could, probably boots, I would guess. He's no longer sun boosted now. This did 31%, so I don't think he's choice specs. Probably boots or something. Yeah. Who's he gonna go to here? Let's go for the Sludge Bomb. If he goes Torkoal, it dies to Sludge Bomb. If he goes to Typhlosion... I don't know. If he goes Typhlosion, Psyshock does a ton of damage. I think it's probably going to be more likely a Calm Mind Raging Bolt at this rate. Or a Dragon. Oh, shit. Okay. Alright, so... Let's see. He got the special attack drop. Obviously, Iron Valiant can come in. Now, I don't know. Do I Iron Valiant can do the mind games with Raging Bolt for sure, with Destiny Bond and all that. He can't Terra with Raging Bolt, which is very, very nice for me. If he gets Sun up, he can outspeed me again. Weevil's at 1%. I don't have a priority move left though. Rotom, I suppose, could take this hit actually. So very important things for my team. This guy to clean up. This guy to get kills on, well, be immune to the Thunderclap. This guy, I think Rotom's not that helpful anymore because it only checks Weevil, which is at 1%. And even if I just switch it in a sack it, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I think I go Weevil here just to keep Slowking available if I need to pivot in and just sack it for something. If he Draco the Meteors on the Rotom, then Rotom can take the second hit. Pain Split or Volt Switch out. Yeah, we go Rotom. Okay, flip turn, that's fine. I assume he's gonna go Raging Bolt. Oh, it knows his rock. That's Rocky Helmet now, damn. Now, the only thing is I want to get Raging Bolt chipped down a little bit. Terra. I want. Yeah. So if I can kill Raging Bolt, then Iron Valiant definitely cleans up. Or even if I can get it chipped down to super low health, but I don't know how I feel about it. I think I just go for the Volt Switch. Maybe he's fast when I get a slow Volt Switch. He can't Terra, of course. Max speed investment does even modest max speed. It does outspeed me. I think I Volt Switch regardless. Do I go to Slowking? Or I don't think I can risk going to Lando because Draco Meteor gets the kill. I could definitely go Iron Valiant on a sacrifice from Slowking. Iron Valiant can revenge kill this. Iron Valiant revenge kills everything greatly, except that this gives it some difficulty because of Thunderclap. But then if I played Destiny Bond mind games and I kill this guy with the Destiny Bond, and I revenge kill the rest of the team, Walking Wake in the sun makes it really difficult too. We Volt Switch. He's faster. Okay. Alright. Jetpack. Okay, alright. Well, I'm glad I didn't switch to Lando then. See what he goes to. So if I can... Maybe I go Arcanine? At this point, I gotta think my win condition. Slowking is just water for sacrifice. Arcanine and Iron Valiant can clean up. Arcanine can be revenge killed by the Walking Wake and Raging Bolt though, so it's kind of tough. I think I'd probably go to... Damn, that was a lot of fucking damage on that. The calc didn't show it doing quite so much damage to it. Jesus Christ. It did 81? That's modest. Oh, it didn't have max. Oh my god. It was a high roll. Damn. because that does 75 to 88 to me. He did 81.5, so it was a high roll. Damn. That sucks. Assuming he's modest max special attack investment. Alright, well, I can go this. It doesn't really be, it's not really threatened by this at all. And I can just spam head smash. Iron Valiant cleans up. If I kill Raging Bolt and Walking Wake, Arcanine can clean up the other three. I'm gonna go Arcanine. We go for a head smash, right? Yeah, have to go for head smash. If I miss on this Weevil, it'd be really fucking rough. Bro, come on. Jesus Christ. I think that's game over. There's nothing I can do now. That's fucking game over. Wow. But I couldn't risk, I mean, if I go to Flare Blitz, these two easily take that hit, and it's just bait for them to come in for free unpunished, and I can't crunch, it's too weak. It's just free for Raging Bolt or Torkoal to come in. God damn, that sucks. I don't really know. Because if Iron Valiant does get the revenge kill, then Raging Bolt revenge kills with Thunderclap. I could Destiny Bond, but I can't revenge kill anything else. I don't know. Fuck, man. That's just game over. There's nothing I can fucking do. Just go Iron Valiant. There's... Maybe we just spam Blast. No downside to it. Draco on Rotom really sucked because that... I don't know, I guess not. Well, I guess I could have used Rotom as a sacrifice for something else. I could have used it against the Weevil there to punish, and now it would have died to Rock, so I don't think that really made much of a difference. I got a Terra and Shadow Ball. My only shot. Okay. Oh, nah, I don't know. It may or may not. If he has bulk investment on Typhlosion, it mattered. There's a 93.8% chance to kill it. If he doesn't have any bulk, if it's just a straight offensive Typhlosion. His only way out of this is Raging Bolt. Yeah. But I think he can Thunderclap, but it doesn't... Wait, Thunderclap doesn't one-hit KO me. He's not specced, he's not boosted by the sun, so Thunderclap does not one-hit KO. He probably doesn't go for it here, he probably goes for a Thunderbolt, so it doesn't really fucking matter. I could Destiny Bond it, it'll kill it, but I can't take a hit from Walking Wake. Walking Wake kills either of them in the sun. Yeah, in the sun, Walking Wake just kills everything out. Speeds everything except for Valiant, but he was faster than Rotom. Hold on, so he was greater than 208 speed. So let me see, like, I don't need that much. I mean, if his, see, like 80, 100-ish. Means like 180. Maybe. He doesn't die to a Moonblast unless I get another crit, I guess. I guess that's a possibility. He kills me with a Draco Meteor. It's a chance on a Thunderbolt. It's not guaranteed. Considering what I do. I mean, if Iron Valiant dies here... No matter what, if Iron Valiant dies... Yeah, if Iron Valiant dies, it's game over. I can't outspeed the Walking Awake in the sun. And I don't think... I guess the only option would be possibly if I could get Galarian Slowking Regenerator to heal up enough to be able to take the hit from it, maybe? That's the only possibility. But I'd have to kill Raging Bolt, so we just go for the Moonblast. Do I? Or do I go for Destiny Bond first? So if he goes Thunderbolt, then Lando comes in, gets the revenge kill on either this or something that he switches in. He'd probably best just do... interesting. I go for the Moonblast, I think. Because regardless, Lando comes in and revenge kills it. Yeah, we just go for the Moonblast. Alright. Oh shit. Oh my god. That was insane timing for that special attack drop. Now I can Destiny Bond if he tries to Thunderclap. I can't switch. I mean, this dies regardless. I can Destiny Bond so he can't Thunderclap. Okay. Damn, I could have got the kill there. Damn. I could... I would have... Are you kidding me? Does he not have Thunderclap? Dude, if I just went for the Moonblast, I kill him. And then I kill Torkoal and Walking Wake too. What the fuck? Alright, my only shot I think is going Slowking and trying to get Regenerator up enough from so that I don't die from Walking Wake. Alright, we go to Slowking, I suppose. I mean, the only thing that makes... I guess it doesn't really matter now at this point who he goes to first. I think my only shot is to have Slowking get Regenerator. I mean, how much damage did Torkoal take? It took something from... No, it took about the right amount from Earthquake from Excalibur, so I would have won that, I think. If I just went Moonblast, I kill the Raging Bolt. This is really my only chance, right? Because Lando just gets 1-hit KO'd by this guy's Steam Eruption. It's not guaranteed. It could miss, right? Is it 100% accurate? Yeah, it is. Okay, Hydro Steam this. Okay. Yeah, the only shot is I go to Slowking. Regenerator gets enough. I don't even know if it's enough. I think it still dies to a Draco Meteor. And I think he's probably Boots. He's not Specs. And he's got a speed boost in the sun, not a special attack boost. So I think that means he has to be timid, not modest. I think, if I remember correctly. Draco does 40 to 47. Slowking will come in at 35, take, what is it? 12.5% from rocks. Puts it down to 24, gets another 33. Shit, I don't know. But then he does still have to rely on a Draco Meteor hitting me and not missing. So there's that. I think his best move here is to go Walking Wake first. And going for the Draco on my Slowking. Because then if he does that, then Torkoal Revenge, because it is going to come down to a Draco Meteor, I think, having to hit, because, oh, well, no, shit, Hydro Steam actually is boosting Sun. How do you add Sun on here? I don't know how to add it in this, calculator. Oh, here, weather. Okay, it's still less than a Hydro Pump. Or, I mean, less than a Draco Meteor, I mean. So, go to Slowking and then go to Lando, but then Slowking, wait, does Slowking kill a Torkoal? Am I faster? Yeah. Let's see, got some speed investment on it. I kill it with Sludge Bomb, so. Slowking kills either one. He has to Draco the Slowking to get the kill after Regenerator. If I did my math right. 1.8% plus 33%. It's at 35. 33.3, so puts it at 35%. Take rocks, puts me down to 22 and a half. And then another 33 puts me up to 55 and some change, which means Draco doesn't kill. I might still win this. Of course, you know, you could always get a crit or something. Those rocks are making it kind of tough for me. Man, that fucking missed head smash. If I hit that, it makes this way easier. Because Arcanine just spams head smash, threatens out, nothing comes in for free, regardless of what he does. I get a nuke on something else too after the Weevil. And it gives me another option to revenge killing, at least revenge kill Walk Wake outside the sun. And revenge killing Raging Bolt. Does Raging Bolt one hit KO it with Thunderclap? No, it doesn't one hit KO Arcanine with Thunderclap. Outside of the sun, at least. I take the rocks damage, but I still live Thunderclap after that, so. Alright. Alright, so now I switch to Lando. Sack Lando, presumably. Hope I did my math right, I guess we'll see. 23%, that's a lower percent than I thought it would be. Sack the Lando, and then come back to Cloaking. Try to get the revenge kill. Ooh, if he gets a stat drop, actually, then I easily take it. That's actually really nice. At 44, I definitely deliver that. Okay, so if he stays in, I kill it, and I kill the Torkoal. If he switches, he comes back to neutral, and assuming sun, yeah, Hydro Steam doesn't kill. It's okay, so odds are in my favor because there's a 56% chance to get the kill with Draco Meteor, and he still has to hit the Draco Meteor. So, all right, we go for the Sludge Bomb. This has got some special defense on Torkoal, and I kill it with this. He flip turn. Oh shit! I forgot about flip turn. That's probably it. Then, shit. Yeah, that's game over. He kills with Hydro Steam even now. Does he? 28.2. Damn. Man, that fucking miss just fucked me. And I could have gone with Moon. I'm so fucking annoyed. I could have gone with Moonblast on the Raging Bolt. I gotta know if he called that. Like if he just didn't have Thunderclap, then I just win that. And Iron Valiant sweeps the whole team. Fuck, man. Oh, that's frustrating. The miss on Head Smash was extra frustrating because then I had to take, like, I had to bring Iron Valiant in way earlier than I wanted to. I wanted to get Raging Bolt chipped down, so I knew that Moonblast would get the kill. Because if I did that, you know, like force Raging Bolt to come in or force him to sack something else, you know, he gets the kill on Raging Bolt and sweeps the rest. All right, well, I'll have match like recap here in just a second after be a little while for me, but it'll be right here after this part of the video, and I'll see you guys then. And we're back. So it's been a day for me. Just slept on that battle a bit. Tried to get I try to give myself a little time to reflect on it a little and think about what I could have improved on. Obviously, right after the battle, the obvious thought is the bad RNG, which it was unfortunate. I'll mention a couple of things here. Not this. That is an important thing there, but this missing the head smash right here on Weevil. And I think it's still the best play. And of course, there's a lot of things where hindsight is 2020. You know, if I went for Flare Blitz, killed the Weevil, but I still think that's risky because then he easily brings any of these three, actually all four of these Pokemon to resist a Flare Blitz. And if I hit Crunch, then these two are tanky enough to take that hit and can kind of take advantage of me there. You know, I don't know if Raging Bolt has Calm Mind at this point in the game. You know, or Torkoal could set up Sun and then you know, rest or yawn or something to give him some momentum or healing or something like that. So I feel like it's still, you know, I think it's still the best play. I think sometimes you just have to make those risks because, you know, if I go for the safer move, I'm gonna be in a really bad spot momentum wise. I don't really have great switch ins for these. I can revenge kill, but I can't switch into them. So I, you know, if I get the kill on Weevil, I think obviously I knew this, or I thought this as it happened, and right after the game, you know, I was thinking, well, if I just hit that head smash, there is one play I think I should have done that was a mistake, and I'll get to that in a second. But you know, if I hit this head smash on Weevil, kills the Weevil, and then his only out to it is Raging Bolt or Walking Wake. He's got to get Sun up for Walking Wake to outspeed, which means he either has to sacrifice, most likely Torkoal or Typhlosion there, and then Walking Wake revenge kills, and then, but then my Iron Valiant can clean up from there after that, or he can bring Raging Bolt in, which is tanky enough to take one head smash. But it puts it in range for Iron Valiant's Moonblast to get the guaranteed kill, and then Iron Valiant cleans up from there. So I still think if I hit the head smashes here, Iron Valiant would clean up and I would have won. And I don't think there was a better choice for me in this situation. I think head smash is still the right decision, and it was just unlucky. And then here in this decision, I went for a Destiny Bond, and I still think that was the best decision with the knowledge that I had about his Raging Bolt. I was under the assumption he'd have Thunderclap, and I think that's pretty safe to assume with Raging Bolt. I thought it was insanely weird he ended up not having Thunderclap. And obviously now that I know his set, Iron Valiant would have swept here. If I just click Moonblast, kill the Raging Bolt, Shadow Ball kills the Torkoal, and then anything will kill the Walking Wake at low health. So yeah, Iron Valiant could have swept here, and so it was really sad that I didn't end up getting the win on that either. But again, you know, if he has, I think had he had Thunderclap, then he kills me and I don't kill the Raging Bolt, I think I just lose there for sure. because, you know, I bring Lando in, but he can sack Torkoal, walk awake, revenge kills, and then I don't get all that regenerator healing on Galarian Slowking. At this point, I figured I have to kill Raging Bolt, because if I don't, Slowking can't take a hit from Raging Bolt and Walking Wake. It could possibly take a hit from Walking Wake, just Walking Wake, but it can't take a hit from both. So, you know, even if I killed the Walking Wake, I wouldn't be able to kill the Raging Bolt with Slowking. So that was my thought process there. I still think, going on the information I had, that Destiny Bond is still the best choice for me. And then a couple turns later, I didn't think about the here, I sacked the Lando, and then he hits right here at this 44 health. I think I live that hit. If he just hard switches to Torkoal, I didn't even think about flip turn. He already used it once this battle, and that was kind of on me for not thinking about it. I could have done some very, very meticulous math to figure out exactly how much damage he'd do and everything, but I don't think that, yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm thinking about it, maybe at this scenario, maybe I just hard switch to Lando. Maybe that would have been beneficial. I don't know. Because that way Lando comes in, threatens this out, would threaten Torkoal, and you know, the Galarian Slowking, I could utilize Iron Valiant maybe as a sacrifice switch to get some more regen healing on Galarian Slowking. Maybe that would have been helpful. I don't know. But I don't think there's a clear-cut answer on this scenario. I think what I did wasn't a misplay. I think it's still a pretty good choice, and I think this was the right decision. Now, this was bad luck, but I think the biggest thing that I should have, the biggest mistake I made, like the only thing that I think is a clear-cut mistake, was this scenario in the very early game on turn 3. So Baxcalibur, I brought it here for Venusaur, and just to be a good offensive threat, which it looks great against this team. I got Weevil down to 1%. I proc that Focus Sash. And it's still really good in the matchup on Walking Wake and Lando. And at least threatens, not Walking Wake, I mean Raging Bolt and Lando. And at least threatens Walking Wake with some powerful moves. And actually, late game, I'll get to this in a minute, but late game, Rhyshard would have been really nice against the Terra Dragon Walking Wake. So I didn't even think about this Torkoal having body press, and I really should have. And that's definitely a big mistake on my end, not considering that. And I've got easy switch-ins to that. Galarian Slowking obviously can take it. I think best case scenario, or best choice for me here, is to switch to Lando, because it directly threatens out this Torkoal and forces him to either sack it or switch to something, which it ended up, I swapped to Torkoal, or I swapped to Lando here and forced him to switch out. But I think had I kept Baxcalibur alive, had I considered this thing having body press and I kept Baxcalibur alive, it could have been a very helpful in that late game scenario. Ice Shard would have been really good to revenge kill Raging Bolt and Walking Wake, and you know, it still put some pressure on Torkoal. Even if I didn't even have it for that, just having Baxcalibur as an extra body to sacrifice for Galarian Slowking to get some extra regenerator healing, even that could have been useful. I think it potentially could have gotten it up healthy enough for it to take a hit from Walking Wake and I win from there, or, you know, something like that could have been a game changer, keeping it alive. And so I think unnecessarily letting it die to body press was a big mistake on my end, and possibly, of course, I didn't know how the game was going to turn out, but I think it definitely could. It would have been the smarter play to switch to Lando instead of taking the body press. I didn't need Baxcalibur to kill something on this team, you know, like in order to wall break, because the rest of my team beats these guys, you know, on, you know, whatever optimal 1v1 scenarios they're in. But yeah, just having that other Pokemon available, I think it probably would have made the difference if I had played that better. I think that's really the only thing I could have improved upon. I'm very happy with my team building. I really like the team. I don't think I would change anything in the team builder. Now, there's a couple things that would have worked better that I considered, like Terra Ground Iron Valiant, better matchup on Raging Bolt. And one of the reasons I didn't go Terra Ground is because it can't really hit the Skarmory or Hatterene. It still hits Torkoal and Raging Bolt. Actually, better matchups on Torkoal and Raging Bolt. But it kind of gets hard walled by Skarmory and Hatterene in those scenarios. So I didn't want it for that. And he didn't bring either of those. So it would have ended up working out better for me. But that's hindsight's 2020. I think, not knowing what he's going to bring, I think the team that I brought is still my best chance to win. And I wouldn't change that. Again, this best caliber play I would have done differently. And then, if we did it again, maybe I hit the head smash here, and then the end game turns out differently. So, some misplays early for me, and then some bad RNG later on. Ended up with a disappointing first week, but we'll see how next week goes. I'm pretty hopeful with it. PokeStar's got a tough team. I can go ahead and show the matchup on his team here. Just a quick preview of it. That's the matchup right there. He's got some scary looking stuff, it's Dragon Bolt Sneasler, gotta prep for those real thoroughly, I'm sure. I'll do my team building and everything for his team, and you guys will see that next week. That is it for week 1. I will see you guys next week.